Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. Just having a quick look at the ASX 200. Again, that's a weekly chart. I think it's looking very bullish, but I'll show you a little bit more on that short-term chart. We did say yesterday we thought this could be a little bit of support, this 5,427 level. It worked very, very well, and we did say we thought possibly the market could go back and retest at 5,500, and pretty amazing actually. It did it in one day. I mean, we had a really strong day on the markets, and I think looks absolutely fantastic. The markets are certainly looking bullish, and I think tomorrow we can go on with this and hopefully get even a sort of a stronger result for the week. Just actually looking at the week in general, I mean, if I actually go to the ASX 200, we opened the week at 5,507, and at the moment we're at 5,500, so we're still slightly down, which I think if I go to these sort of, we put a whole list of stocks this week which we said would be bullish, and might go through those actually one by one, and we can have a good look at them. Aristocrat was obviously one that we're trending as well at the moment, and Aristocrat just looks stunning. Bounced off beautifully that short-term trend line. Fantastic earnings report, and for me that's looking stronger each day. So we're talking about it retesting that high. I certainly think as long as the Dow behaves itself, that's easily possible. And I certainly Aristocrat's looking a very good story. As is A2 Milk. We said this would be bullish this week. It's one of the 3-year growth stories. And again, it's had a great week so far. Opened the week at 229 and closed the day at 246. Absolutely stunning. Bellamy's, which we had as a bullish stock, again, is having a pretty decent week. Opened the week at 1205. It's been as high as 1235, but it looks very good. ALU, to be honest, I wasn't far off putting this one as a trend. It certainly looks very good. This on a week which has been sort of this is just slightly up, but again I think it looks the chart looks very strong. ALQ, this is actually one that we're trending at the moment, and I think we've got this really bullish pattern, this really bullish tail. I think it's been helped a little bit today by obviously the oil price improving, and this is actually very bullish. Like I said, we've got that $7 target price. It's one we are trending at the moment, and for me this looks excellent. As does Domino's. We're trending this one at the moment. Sort of bouncing, just had a good day today, at least holding above that sort of short-term trend line. That's what you want from a really bullish stock. As with Hansen, again, just stunning, good little trend. It was up a little bit earlier. I think a little bit of profit taking on this one today, but certainly we've got to have that sort of 450, 455 target price fairly soon. Technology One, again, sort of a week which is so far equal. This opened the week at 563, been as high as 586. Absolutely stunning. BHP opened the week at 25.93, and it's about 25.61, but got sold back in the last few days and starting to, again, obviously due to oil, starting to look very bullish. As is obviously BSL. It's quite interesting. A few of these really bullish stocks did get sold back a little bit at the beginning of the week, and it's you can see how quickly they've all started to rebound. Obviously, because the momentum is there in the stock. BRG again opened the week at 904. It's trading 897. Not really, more or less on par. Webjet had a good day today. I think it was up about 7%. And again, opened the week at 1047. Looks very good. 1067 at the moment. As does ARB. Opened the week at $17. Now it's $17.36. And Corporate Travel is up as well. 17.63 and opened the week at 17.92. I don't think AMC hasn't done as well. No, that's 14.71. And it's sort of a little bit lower. ABC, again, sort of more or less on par. Opened the week at 5.34. It's now about 5.13. very interesting, the banks, and we haven't really sort of been bullish on the banks for a while, and we actually had ANZ looking pretty bullish this week. And again, it's had a good week, and for me, it's even better now. It's broken above that sort of resistance. Be really interested to see how these banks are sort of trading come tomorrow evening, because certainly they've got to be interesting to put on as a trend at the moment. They're looking very, very good. You've got what did ANZ open the week at 28.20, and it's been as high as 28.70. It's certainly looking very, very, very good. CGF again, sort of bullish trend. It's opened the week at 10.83. It's trading 10.82, so it really hasn't moved at all. And CMY opened the week at 10.12, has been as high as and is now 1.12 and is now 1.15. So pretty amazing. I think about sort of the week is just slightly under on the ASX 200, but those stocks that we said were bullish have about 90% of them have totally outperformed the market. So I think that's so far this week. The week's not over, but so far looking very, very good. And obviously Wolseley Parsons had an absolutely stunning day today. I think at one stage it was up about 7-8%, and again obviously opened the week at 9.20 and have been as high as 9.65. So looking good. And you know what's important, I think, if they need to do a little bit more tomorrow, and sort of, and I think if by tomorrow evening, if they can be trading above sort of around 9.70, I think that'll be looking very, very bullish for Wolseley Parsons. As does ANN. Again, these are stocks that had classic buy signals. They've done very well this week, opening the week at 23.09 and closed tonight at 23.67. One of the classic buy signals that hasn't really gone through with it is FBU. Obviously, it's opened the week at 10.29 and trading about 10. But again, all in all, these bullish stocks and these classic buy signals are absolutely outstanding in the market. And every week we're getting emails from members saying, Dave, I can't quite believe how Equity Story is managing to pick these short-term momentum in charts so well. Just having a quick look at obviously the banks. I think the banks are really interesting. So what we've seen in banks is a little bit of this. So I'm looking at CBA now. So if you go back in time, you can say, CBA's had that move, and certainly CBA was starting to look pretty good. That was back in November last year, and then got sold down. So again, it's had that little move again, rather than sort of 3 weeks up. It's now been 4 weeks, and really starting to sort of break above a little bit of past resistance. And you look at that and you're thinking, well, maybe it can retest that sort of 85 level. Generally speaking, what would be better is to see obviously CBA come down a little bit now and then turn up again, and that would be, I think, a lot more bullish. But certainly these banks are really well worth keeping an eye on. They're certainly starting to look a lot more certainly starting to look a lot more bullish. And certainly at the moment, if you look at CBA, you'd really think that, it's trading at sort of 79.53. You'd be really looking at $85 as a possible short-term target. It's looking very good, as with all these banks. And obviously these banks will be helped even more by the oil price going up. And it's just sort of, I think it relaxes the market. They're not going to have be hit by so many sort of poor loans. Again, Westpac looking very, very good actually. Not as good as CBA, but looking pretty good. ANZ, that we said it was bullish this week, you could argue this looks the best out of a lot of them. And this is one that we should seriously consider putting on a trend, especially if it can hold this level by tomorrow evening. I think ANZ's actually absolutely looking stunning. Often what you got to do is squash these charts up to get a better look. So here we are at ANZ. It's when the market's sort of getting a little bit nervous come as in sort of July. And I think certainly what's quite interesting about ANZ, really, if you can break above that level around sort of $29, it's got a lot of free air up to $32. So I think ANZ actually is looking very, very interesting, as is NAB. I think NAB looks very good. So again, NAB a little bit more similar in price movement to what it's done to CBA. I think maybe we need to see it just come back a little bit and turn up, but certainly I think these banks are well worth looking at the moment. What I'd just like to show tonight is it's just a little video I found on the internet, and it's quite interesting. And it's got a little picture of this guy. He's walking around New York, and suddenly at the back of his van he sees a pot of gold. And like can happen in New York, he's thinks it's his lucky day. He runs off with the gold, and anyway, he had about 1.6 million dollars of solid gold in that, and he's run off with it, and apparently he's now living happily ever after somewhere. And there he is with his pot of gold. You can see him walking there, and apparently he's somewhere in Florida now, having the time of his life. Well, I thought I'd just sort of show you that quickly. We are, sort of pretty interested in obviously what is happening with gold at the moment, and what I wouldn't be doing if you're in gold, hold gold, and we've got gold in our 3-year growth portfolio. We are trending it at the moment. Gold is a really volatile commodity. There's an interesting article I just posted on Einstein's trending blog about gold, and it's sort of giving some sort of, feel a lot of what they're talking about is similar to why we like gold. When you trend gold, you've got to trend world events, and obviously, the collapse in Europe, Trump's protectionist policies. There's a lot of bonuses which could potentially push gold up in the medium term. However, gold has broken some short-term support, so it looks like it's going lower. But certainly for us, I think Equity Story, all this is doing is just creating an even better buying opportunity. So if you've got gold, hold it, and certainly if it goes to some of the levels that we're looking at, we'll be suggesting buy more gold, and if you're not in gold, to certainly get in and buy some gold. I think it's an important hedge in the portfolio as well at the moment, just in this sort of uncertain world we live in. But it's a very interesting article. It's written by the HSBC research team, and it certainly does, I think, reflect our opinion here at Equity Story. That's all I've got to talk about tonight in Equity Story. The trends are doing reasonably well. I hope to take some profits on a few of those trends in the next few days if the Dow behaves itself, and most probably look at getting one of these banks on as a trend, and maybe even a few more stocks in the resources industry. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to Equity Story, and have a good night.